Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football this weekend. It's FA Cup weekend, but there's plenty on show. Sat to my right, Patrick Van Straten. The first winner of the day is Danny, that guy Welbs, isn't it, Pato?
Yes, indeed it is. Southampton lost 5-0 to Arsenal at St Mary's. Now, Arsenal don't normally have a good time away at the Saints, but in this game, Southampton made more changes than Arsenal. Arsenal played kind of their second team, but those are all still first team players. Whereas Southampton, they brought in a lot of youngsters and they were punished for it. 10 changes and they were 3-0 down within 35 minutes. First goal, absolutely fantastic. Phenomenal assist from Lucas Perez. Little flick into Danny Welbeck. Lifts it over the keeper. Second, deep ball from Oxlade-Chamberlain from right down on the wing near the halfway line. And Danny Welbeck manages to slip it under the keeper with his studs. Now, Southampton conceded as many goals in that first half hour as they did in their last 6 games. They've been defensively solid up until now. But Arsenal, on the other hand, in attacking terms, are running riot. They've got 81 goals so far this season in all competitions. Bear in mind, last season, 91 in the entire campaign.
Mental.
That's unbelievable. Now, Arsene Wenger was in the stand, so it was left to Steve Bold to take control of the team. And did he ever? Played Oxlade-Chamberlain in central midfield alongside youngster Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and the two were very, very impressive. Oxlade-Chamberlain completed 91% of his passes, created 3 chances from that deep position, and he bagged an assist. Pretty good stuff all round.
Yeah, their attacking line, like you said, Arsenal was extremely potent in this game. Theo Walcott was on fire, got his 5th hat-trick, of course, in an Arsenal shirt. He loves the FA Cup. He's got 7 goals in his last 4 FA Cup away matches. I mean, this is a man who only completed 6 passes on the weekend. That's a stat that blew my mind. I don't know whether it's true or not. 3 goals, 6 passes, it doesn't make any sense. But the Man of the Match award went to Danny Welbeck, of course. Got 2 and got an assist. He looked great in that front line. That was the first time, actually, though, that he has scored and assisted in a game since September 2014.
Oh dear.
A long time ago. He looked
I believe
sharp,
that was
though.
against Aston Villa away, mate.
Wow.
3-0 victory.
Jesus. He does look sharp, though. Arsenal fans must be buzzing. And Lucas Perez as well, coming into his own. Of course, the man that Wenger signed in the summer. There was some mixed feelings about him being taken over Jamie Vardy, but he has blown up. 8 goals in his last 8 starts he's been involved in, including assists, that is. But you can't ask much more from the man, can you, Pato, as an Arsenal fan?
You absolutely cannot. What we needed is a little bit of depth, and actually he's way more creative than we expected. In the end, Jamie Vardy turning us down, he's done us a favour. But how high can Arsenal finish this season, and will they win the FA Cup? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Our first loser of the week, they're back again. It's Liverpool. It's not been a great month for Jurgen Klopp.
Deary me, that's an understatement. Lost 2-1, of course, out of the FA Cup at home against Wolves. Out of 2 cups in 7 days, and their 3rd loss in 7 days. In fact, Big Jurgen has won just 1 of his 8 games in 2017. Ooh. Not a great start to the year for the German. It's the first time he's had 3 consecutive home defeats as a manager since April 2007. And that was with Mainz.
Oh my God.
So, dearie me, the wheels are really coming off the truck.
That's an amazing fact.
On paper, they really dominated this game on paper. If you look at the stats, 79% possession, 20 shots, 17 key passes. But when you actually watch the game, Wolves were fantastic, kept Liverpool at bay, and Liverpool without Sadio Mane looked impotent, mate.
Yeah, well, with Sadio Mane, Liverpool's win percentage is 71%, which is pretty damn good.
Very good.
Without him, 33%. Now, obviously, we're not just putting it down to Mane. Other things have gone wrong this month, like Joe says. But look, Mane, he's back. He's on a private flight back. They've chartered a plane for him. After Senegal were knocked out of AFCON, he was in tears, and he's going to go and play Chelsea on Tuesday night, so that'll cheer him right up. On the other hand, let's talk a little bit about Wolves, because they do deserve some credit.
100%.
Like, they were fantastic on the counter-attack. Andy Weimann back playing at the top level, sort of. He's scored in 3 of his last 4 appearances at Anfield. 2 of them for Aston Villa, 1 of them for Wolves. So he obviously likes to head up to the Reds. Helder Costa, though, he was probably the star of the show.
Yes.
Really ran the game, incredibly strong, great dribbling. Should have scored a wonder goal in the first half after running half the length of the pitch. Got 2 assists, and he's been directly involved in 10 goals in his last 11 games in all competitions for Wolves. It might just be a matter of time until he's heading out of Wolverhampton, but for the moment, the Reds have headed out of the cup.
We're heading over to Deutschland for our next winners, and it's second place, RB Leipzig, Pato.
Yes, they beat Hoffenheim 2-1, ending Hoffenheim's 17-match unbeaten run in the Bundesliga. What a first half of the season it's been for Julian Nagelsmann's men. Now, Leipzig actually went 1-0 down in this game very early on thanks to a phenomenal counter-attacking goal. They were really ripped through, but they came back to win 2-1, albeit thanks to a slightly lucky deflected goal. But look, now they're only 3 points behind Bayern, who scraped past Werder Bremen 2-1 thanks to an Alaba free kick. Hoffenheim had set up to frustrate the Red Bulls, okay?
Yeah.
They set up in a 5-3-2, which we know they like to do, and it did cause Leipzig trouble. But Hassan Hüttl, my boy, ballsy move. 4-2-4 he went for. Lovely stuff. And Werner and Keita were the outstanding players on the day.
Yeah, as they have been for most of this season. Like you said, Timo Werner, of course, took home the Man of the Match award in this game. 6 shots, 1 key pass, 2 aerial duels, 1 dribble and 2 tackles.
Oh my God.
He is in phenomenal form. This is a guy who scored 11 Bundesliga goals. That's more than any other under-21 player in the entirety of Europe. He's in fact the highest scoring German in the whole Bundesliga.
Oh my gosh.
So I wonder whether Joachim Low might be considering starting him in the future. The other player, of course, Naby Keita, the phenomenal midfielder, linked to absolutely everybody in the summer. He will be. He was at his very best in this game, especially when they moved to a 4-2-4. 4 chances created, 3 interceptions, 2 tackles, 2 shots, 1 assist.
Oh my God.
A very, very special talent in Naby Keita and in Timo Werner. But can RB Leipzig keep hold of them in the summer, or will they move on? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Over to Atletico Madrid now, who are in our losers once again after a 0-0 away draw against Alaves.
It's all going wrong for Diego Simeone. Atletico now in 4th place, 6 points off of 3rd place Sevilla, 10 points off of Real Madrid. And this was a game where Alaves completely dominated. Alaves had 60% possession, 16 key passes, and mustered 19 shots. That's something I never thought I would hear against a Simeone side. 19 shots against Atletico, my word. Obviously, he has tried a little bit of an evolution this season at Atletico Madrid. He's brought Saul and Koke into the centre. He's playing 2 genuine wide men. He obviously brought Gaetan in the summer. He's playing 2 up front, and it's not quite working for him. I'm not too sure why. But nevertheless, Atletico right now, very, very poor. They only mustered 8 shots on the weekend, 2 on target. 5 of them came from Antoine Griezmann. That's the most he's ever had in a La Liga match without scoring. But he's not the only problem, is he, Pato, Antoine?
No, he is not. He was actually one of just 3 players to have a shot on the day. Koke and Saul also had efforts, but Gamero spent an hour on the pitch and did not manage a single shot at goal, which is unbelievable, really. I mean, and the day took an ugly turn after that as well. Diego Godin got into an argument with Alaves striker Davison, and he could be in trouble with the Spanish FA. Davison spat at Godin, and Godin returned the favour, mate, which is pretty fucking disgusting. So we have no idea what the fallout of that will be. We expect it not to be good, and it's something that Atleti could do without at the minute. Now, their fixtures are not looking any kinder over the next month either. They've got Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, that's their next match, where the side from the capital could extend this current run to 4 games without a win. And then, of course, they've got Bayer Leverkusen to look forward to in the Champions League. But what we want to know from you is whether this is Diego Simeone's last season at the Calderón. And, well, it's everyone's last season at the Calderón. They're changing stadium in the summer. But is it his last season there? And if he leaves, where will he go? Arsenal. Where will he go? Let us know in the comments below.
Back to England now for our final winner, and as it has been all season, it's Chelsea, Pat.
Yeah, they faced Brentford in the FA Cup and ran out 4-0 winners. They made 9 changes to their starting 11, but nothing is getting in the Blues' way at the minute. They've now won 14 of their last 15 games in all competitions, the only blot being that 2-0 loss to Tottenham, which could have gone either way, to be fair.
Yes.
They've won 10 consecutive games at Stamford Bridge. Antonio Conte's reign at Chelsea is becoming just a list of impossible numbers. He's got 22 wins in 27 games. That's the best ever start for a manager in the Roman Abramovich era. Now, Branislav Ivanovic also got a little goal in his final game. It looks like he's going to be off to Zenit St. Petersburg. Willian scored an absolutely sensational free kick as well. Do you remember that form he was in last season?
Yeah.
Or was it the season before where he just kept bagging free kicks? This was another one for the Brazilian scrapbook. But beside that, he didn't actually have his best day for the Blues, did he?
No, he didn't. But there was one man who did have one of his best days in a Chelsea shirt, and it's Pedro. The guy is having a phenomenal season and was brilliant again against Brentford on the weekend. He's already equalled his goal tally of last season after just 24 appearances. He's got 8 goals for Chelsea this season. Took him 40 to get to that mark last season.
Ooh.
So vastly improved under Antonio Conte. Another man I want to just mention, Michy Batshuayi. When he starts, he scores. 5 starts in a blue shirt, 5 goals. And he loves the cup as well. 5 games he's played in cup tournaments, including the EFL and the FA Cup. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists. Give the big Belgian some game time and he will score you goals.
Our final losers of the weekend, Leicester City, the Foxes, are in the bins, mate.
Yes, Claudio Ranieri sniffing around some old chicken, but his side drew 2-2 away to Derby County on the weekend. They've been struggling in the league and they're struggling in the cup as well. Derby, of course, 9th in the Championship at the moment, so not an ideal result at all for Claudio Ranieri. Put it that way, they got off to a flyer. Darren Bent scoring a comedy own goal. And they dominated possession as well, 60% of it. They had 14 shots, 6 on target, but they could only scrape to the draw. The FA Cup specialist, man, Darren Bent, he was at it again, wasn't he? And he equalised, made up for his stupid own goal just 20 minutes later. He has now scored 10 in his last 11 FA Cup games. This guy knows where the net is.
Yeah, he does.
What a player, Darren Bent.
Well, Derby were kind of lethal on the day. Their first 2 shots on target both found the net, and Leicester needed an alternative at half-time. So they brought on youngster Demarai Gray, and he was really good in the second half. He hit the post after 50 minutes and then set up Wes Morgan's equaliser 2 minutes from time. So good day for him. But on the other hand, Jamie Vardy, another bad day at the office. 2 shots, 1 on target, 61% pass completion, not incredible. He's now got 6 goals in 24 games for Leicester, which would not be awful had it not been for his fantastic season last year. But things are going to get more difficult for Claudio Ranieri. They've got to go to Turf Moor and face Burnley on Tuesday. Now that sounds like an easy game, but Burnley have actually been incredibly difficult to break down there this season. They've won their last 3 home games, and it could be a tricky fixture for the Foxes. They need to pull this one out of the bag. In our losers yet again.
All weekend you've been sending in your Twitter shout-outs. If you want to get involved, hit me and Pato up on Twitter. The first one comes from Dan Armstrong. Another spot. Exeter City win again away at Portsmouth. 10 games unbeaten. The longest run in England, Pato.
Oh, amazing.
The longest run in England. The next shout comes from Ritwik Sharma. Sorry for the pronunciation. He says, Sutton United, of course. The non-league team beating Leeds 1-0. A great penalty from the overweight captain. I don't know his name. Jason Cooper as well. Loads of suggestions Jason sent in. I'm going to pick out Villarreal though, Pato.
Yes, well, I've got some suggestions in the losers category. Simon Roos said Darmstadt, who lost 6-1 at home against Cologne. They've got 9 points from 18 games.
Ooh.
Not amazing. Yuri Sumak, who says Bayer Leverkusen, they threw away a 2-0 lead against Borussia Mönchengladbach. If you want to hear more about that game, then head over to Euro Roundup on Euro Football Daily, where we'll talk about it in a bit more depth. And finally, Larry Boy, who said Brighton, who lost 3-1 against non-league Lincoln City, which I thought was a kind of cheese. So, good news.
But we've also been asking for your moment of the weekend, and again, Larry Boy was on fire this weekend. He came in with Shettleston goalkeeper Gary White being sent off after 72 minutes for having a piss behind the goal.
That's not that bad.
Non-league football does not get better than that. So that's all we've got time for on today's winners and losers, but don't go anywhere just yet. Head over to Euro Roundup where you can find
Bayer Leverkusen, Real Madrid, Man United, Inter Milan, and some others. And also me and Chris Hamill.
Ooh, and as ever, guys, please do like and subscribe.
Bye.
Sayonara.